Hey guys, it's Ben, coach of the Baltimore Oriolus, here with IBL Week 6. We are taking on Ryo Hiyamaru. I just butchered that pronunciation. I'm sorry, my guy. Coach of the Pittsburgh Huge Powers. His team consists of Megalopony, Zygarde 50, Jirachi, Vaporeon, Rotom-Mow, Torkoal, Victreebel, Comfey, Minior, Oricorio, all forms, and Regice. So this battle happened like a long time ago, and I don't really remember anything from it, but I don't care. I'm just gonna roll with it because this video is late anyway. So we got FizzDef Mew with sub Calm Mind Psychic Roost. I love this set to death. He has no dark type. His only resist is Jirachi, so if I can get rid of that thing, then Mew can just kind of go ham on this team. And I feel like Jirachi doesn't have the best matchup against my team because, you know, I have Steelix that kind of hard walls. Just like how I brought Steelix against Goldoa for his Jirachi. I'm bringing Steelix here. We'll talk about that in a minute. I also got mons like Infernape that should outspeed under most circumstances unless it's Scarf. You know, Weavile can Pursuit Trap and just knock off whatever item I want to have. If it's Culver Berry, that could be a little scary, but that would mean that it's not really as threatening for like the rest of my team. So I don't think he's really going to bring Jirachi, so Mew can just really go ham on this team. Next up, we have Steelix, and it actually has a nickname now. So I couldn't think of anything, and I mean, my good pal DS Gaming like watches some of my videos, I guess, and he asked to have the Steelix named after him, so like, why not? Honestly, there's nothing else I have no better ideas, so we're rolling with it. DS the Steelix. Spadef with some attack. I don't remember what any of this is for. Rocky Helmet, of course, for the Jirachi. Toxic, so mons like Vaporeon and Rotom-Mow don't come in for free. And the rest is self-explanatory. Next up, we have Infernape. Adamant, Expert Belt, Iron Fist, Thunder Punch. I believe it's 2-hit KO on Vaporeon, and I think that was my thought process behind this set. Mach Punches, that's like a necessity for Megalop teams. Flare Blitz and Close Combat should cover for basically everything else. Next, we have Whimsicott. Scarf, because I feel like that's really important for this matchup. Scarf Whimsicott allows me to outspeed +1 Zygarde. Allows me to outspeed Megalopony. Allows me to outspeed Scarf Jirachi. I can bop Lopunny even if it's behind a sub because of Infiltrator. Moonblast is going to be doing great damage there, especially since I can run Modest. And you know, Moonblast can bop sub Zygarde as well, so especially if he's at +1 because, you know, Scarf. So that's basically the whole game plan here. Whimsicott's kind of like an emergency button in case something starts. Wow, I can't English. In case something starts to get too scary. The only downside is like, since I'll reveal that I'm choice locked sooner or later. So once he knows that, he can just pretty easily play around Whimsicott because, you know, Jirachi resists Moonblast and Energy Ball. Shadow Ball is my only offensive move. It's my only move that really does damage to Jirachi, and even so, it doesn't do a ton. So he can pivot around Whimsicott pretty easily once he knows that I'm choice locked. So that's a bit of a scary thing. Next up, we have Tentacruel, because holy crap, I need a Comfey check, and this thing is like the best Comfey check in the game. Liquid Ooze obviously has it so that Draining Kiss doesn't heal him up, but it does like more damage to the Comfey. I've Acid Spray to counteract the Calm Minds, Mirror Coat because it doesn't have a Dark type, Ice Beam so I'm not Zygarde fodder, and Scald so I can hit mons like Jirachi because otherwise Jirachi walls. I thought about running Knockoff, but I mean I need Scald because it's stab and it's good damage, basically the most damage I can output with Tentacruel. AV to better take hits from stuff like Rotom-Mow so I can Mirror Coat, take hits from Torkoal better, mons like that. And lastly, we have Weavile. Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Ice Shard, Fake Out because there's like no other move that would make sense. Low Kick doesn't make sense. Pursuit probably doesn't really make a ton of sense. I think I would rather have Fake Out on this team because that extra little chip could really come in handy for stuff like, you know, +1 Zygarde or Megalop, stuff like that. So I feel like that extra little damage output is worth running Fake Out over anything else, since it seems like the most practical option. I can run Adamant, so that's kind of cool. Because I'm aggressively speed creeping or something. And I believe that's the team. Is there anything else worth mentioning? I guess, well, I mean, I can talk more about it when I pull up the game. Let me just, bloop. Okay, so here's the game. As you can see, he brings these Zygarde, Vaporeon, Comfey, Jirachi, Victreebel, and Torkoal. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised to see the Jirachi and the Comfey there, because like I said, I feel like they didn't have the best matchups. Surprised to see no Mega Lop, although I suppose that makes enough sense because, you know, defensive Mew is a pretty good Mega Lop switch in. And I do have other things on my roster that could give Lop a bit of a hard time. Excuse me for a moment. Ice is spamming me on Discord. I have to tell him I'm recording my IBL video. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the game. Yeah, so he has the Comfey there. And of course, I'm very scared of Comfey because I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten screwed over by Comfey. It's so stupid. I really hate it. So, I'm afraid of the Comfey lead, just in case he would want to do spoopy stuff right off the bat. I was also thinking he would probably lead Torkoal, so I was expecting the Torkoal lead here. So, son of a, go away, Ice. Okay. So yeah, I was a little afraid of the Torkoal lead because, you know, you get stun up early, you can get rocks up, so I didn't want him to get that up for free, so I didn't want to lead the Tentacruel to counter the Torkoal lead. But as you can see, he leads with Zygarde, and that puts me in a bit of a tough spot because Tentacruel can click Ice Beam and Zygarde won't be able to set up for free. But alternatively, he could see that incoming and he could just go straight on the offensive with 1,000 arrows. And I need to keep Tentacruel around for the Comfey, so with that in mind, I can't risk Tentacruel this early. I know I have Ice Beam just so I'm not Zygarde fodder, but I didn't think Comfey would come to this game in the first place. So I'm going to pull a switch, and I'm going to pause it right here. I am really stupid and not good at Pokemon. So, you know, the rest of my team is Mew, Steelix, Infernape, Whimsicott, and Weavile. So if he leads with a Zygarde, what do you think he's going to do against Tentacruel? He's either going to go for like 1,000 arrows or a Dragon Dance, right? No downside to going into Whimsicott. But no, this idiot goes into Mew! Yeah, so Mew is in. It can't really do much to the Zygarde. I can go for the Psyche MZ, but that's not going to kill it. I suppose Whimsicott wouldn't be killing the Zygarde either with one Moonblast, but it would be doing so much damage and it would absolutely be put in Weavile range. So I really should have gone Whimsicott there, since Whimsicott's usefulness in this game is really limited, especially because he does bring the Jirachi. And there's no Mega Lop, so once Zygarde is out of the way, Whimsicott doesn't really do anything. So it was really stupid of me to go into Mew here to take so much extra damage from this Tectonic Rage. I do expect him to go for the Z-move, as that gets off a ton of damage on the Mew, and, you know, he doesn't want to set up in front of me, since that could be anything. It could be like Will-O-Wisp, it could be Ice Beam, but I'm going to stay in and go for the Shattered Psyche, because, like I said, I knew he was going to go for his own Z-move, so I needed to get off as much damage as I could with that one attack. So I'm going to get off the Psyche MZ here. I'm going to do some pretty good damage, but it's not going to be able to kill, of course, so Mew is very low on health, and here I just decide that I'm going to sack it off after this turn. I think I actually spent a long time thinking about this, like thinking what else I could do, and it was my own stupidity that put me in this spot of having to sack something. I'm just really disappointed in myself for not going Whimsicott in the first place. Now I switch in Whimsicott because it's not, like, on an attack. Maybe I was afraid of, like, a Sludge Wave or an Iron Tail, but he wouldn't click that in front of a Tentacruel that could have Ice Beam and Shuca Berry. So, no, I'm going to go for the Moonblast because, of course, I do outspeed, so Zygarde's going to drop, and now he knows that I am Choice Locked, so that's revealed very early, so this is not going well for me. But he sends in the Comfey, so I'm going to send in my dedicated Comfey switch in, which is, of course, the Tentacruel. And he does prepare for mons like Tentacruel and Steelix a bit. He does have the Hidden Power Ground. It's going to come off. It's going to do a little bit of damage, but not much. Because, you know, AB. The only issue is Tentacruel isn't going to be doing a lot of damage to his mons. And I have no sustain on Tentacruel. I don't have a Wish Passer. I don't have even Black Sludge. Like, no rest, of course. Nothing like that. So once Tentacruel gets chipped down, it's chipped down for good. So that's something I got to keep an eye on. So now I'm going to pull a double as I was predicting a switch into something that was not called Torkoal. Don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but I think it might have been Jirachi. So I predicted the switch into Jirachi and it went to Steelix. So that's a scary thing. So now he gets off a free Lava Plume. I was thinking he would just want to go for rocks, but Lava Plume, that's scary as well. So I'm going to send it Infernape. Now I believe I'm just going to hard double out into the Whimsicott. In fact, this is kind of stupid of me. If I knew he was going for the fire move in the first place, I should have just doubled right back out into Tentacruel instead of taking that extra damage with Infernape and the extra damage with Whimsicott on the Lava Plume and the Earth Power respectively. So now he's going to go for another Lava Plume, so I'm going to pull the switch into Tentacruel. This is really just a sloppy game. I'm playing around his Torkoal here, but I'm not getting off extra damage. So he's not really losing anything by clicking the not very effective attacks and not really predicting the switches. He doesn't lose anything. It's fine. He's getting extra chip where he needs it, and he knows that I don't really have sustain on this team. Tentacruel is already revealed to not be Black Sludge, and, like, you know, nothing else on my team would make sense to have sustain other than Mew, and Mew already dropped. So Mew dropping so early proves to be a very bad mistake. Because you see, Tentacruel, it's getting chipped so much so early, and now it's burned on top of that, so it's going to be taking burn damage throughout the rest of the game. It's already at half health from just the Torkoal. Now here I predict a switch into Jirachi, so I go for the Scald, but he goes into Vaporeon, so I'm taking even more burn damage here. So this is not looking good, because his tanks are healthy, mine are not, and my Mew, which was like my best Pokemon for this game, already dropped, so I'm going to have to get rid of the Torkoal and Vaporeon if I want to be able to plow through the rest of the team. Torkoal is probably going to be the biggest issue just because it's so physically defensive and the rest of my team is so physically offensive. Also because Torkoal just kind of sponges hits from anything else. Like, you know, it sponges hits from Weavile, sponges hits from Infernape, it 1v1 Steelix, and Whimsicott can't do jack do it. So Tentacruel is really all I have to chip down the Torkoal, so I can't let him heal it up with the Vaporeon. As he's going to go for a Wish here as, I don't know if I predicted a switch there or not, or what I was doing, but I switched in the Steelix. Now I guess I'm baiting the Ice Beam, or not the Ice Beam, now I'm baiting the Scald, so I'm doubling into Whimsicott, I think. So I pulled a lot of aggressive doubles, but none of them really gained me any momentum, just because, you know, he's not taking any damage, and he's not losing anything. This is a very sloppily played out game. Like I've said a million times, if I just had Mew, I would be able to sub up in front of Vaporeon. Like, in the sun, with Scald not doing anything, and his 4 moves being Wish, Protect, Scald, Ice Beam. Oh, cool, I got a PM for a thing. I'll check that in a minute. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Vaporeon's moveset is Wish, Protect, Scald, and Ice Beam, so that's hard Mew fodder, especially in the sun, when Scald isn't going to be breaking my sub. Ice Beam, I don't think that breaks the sub. I also haven't calced it, but I don't think it should be able to. So if I'd been able to sub up with Mew, and if I'd gotten up some Calm Minds, that would have put a lot of pressure on his team. Obviously, Jirachi would still quad resist, but that would bait it in. Then I probably wouldn't try to hard set up too much, so I could switch into Steelix, get that extra chip on Jirachi with the Stealth Rocks, then set up my, or not Stealth Rocks, with the Rocky Helmet, then set up my own rocks as I scare him out with the Earthquake. So it's just not going well at all. Here, I guess I should keep commentating the game. Here I predicted the switch into Torkoal, went for the close combat, but he's just going to go into Comfey, so that's a scary boy. Comfey is in, and Infernape does not want to deal with this thing. Flare Blitz, I believe, does kill from this range, but like, if you can just easily go for a Draining Kiss, I'm not going to want to stay in and risk Infernape, since it's one of my best hopes of bringing this game back. Since, you know, I need that offensive pressure, and it can somewhat break the Vaporeon Torkoal core if I can just get up a little bit of momentum. If I just get that little bit of extra chip on Vaporeon to put it in range of Thunder Punch. So now he's just going to go for the Hidden Power on the Steelix, as it's clear that he is ready to sack Comfey. I believe I predict a switch and just go for the Toxic. Yeah, I think I predicted the Vaporeon switch here. Since, you know, Tentacruel is basically gone, Comfey can start putting in work. I didn't think he would want to sack it there. And, you know, Comfey, it's revenges Weavile every time. So a bit strange that he would want to sack this thing, but I mean, it makes enough sense. He still has enough pressure with the rest of his team to be able to pretty safely pull out the W. It was just kind of strange that he didn't go into Vaporeon when that felt like kind of a free switch. Of course, I have Toxic, but, you know, he didn't know that. You'd think I would want to go for the Gyro Ball there. So the Comfey is getting continuously chipped. I'm going to pull a hard double, I guess, because maybe I'm in Draining Kiss range or something. I don't know, but I'm going to go back into Steelix. Maybe I'm baiting the Draining Kiss and also baiting a double. I think he goes Torkoal here. Yeah, that was it, so probably not the smartest double to go into Steelix on the Torkoal. So, that's fun. he can get off a free Lava Plume here, but I know he's going to go for the Earth Power, so I really wanted to go into Whimsicott, but I felt like Whimsicott was probably important. I mean, not that I can hold this back at all, but Infernape's going to drop to the Earth Power, which he does click, so my 2 best bonds are down. Now it's really not going to be possible to break the Torkoal Vaporeon core. I just have to hope that I can Acid Spray them down, and maybe he gets careless and lets them drop and puts everything in range of, what do I even have left? Weavile. Weavile is like my last hope. And he still has the healthy Comfey, and, you know, Tentacruel's getting chipped super low, so my only hope would be, like, that Steelix can 1v1 the Comfey, and maybe he doesn't have a Aromatherapy or something. Looks like if Steelix has to drop early. It's not looking good. Now he's at -2 Spadef, so, like, I'm getting extra damage off of Vaporeon here, but it's still way too bulky, and Tentacruel just has not nearly enough offensive pressure, especially since, you know, it's going to die this turn, so the extra Acid Spray chip isn't really doing much, and if he can just go for the Wish anyway, then he's healing back up, and there's nothing I can do about that. So Tentacruel drops to the burn here. Is this where I go into Weavile, or do I go into... No, I think I go into Whimsicott. Yeah, I go into Whimsicott. What? Okay, I guess I went into Steelix so I could poison this thing because I can live a Scald. Yeah, okay, that sounds right. Never mind, ignore me. So I'm gonna get off the Toxic. I'll be able to chip down the Vaporeon now more easily, since it's... I don't think all 4 of his moves have been revealed yet, but I do know that this last move is Protect, as that is revealed later in the game. So, now that the thing is Toxic, it is on a timer, and he has to play more carefully with it. But I gotta hope that he's careless, and that I can pick off the Vaporeon. Then Torkoal can't heal up. Maybe I can pull something off of there, but it's not looking good. So here I'm gonna pull the switch hard into Weavile on what I predict to be the Ice Beam, since he doesn't really have a drawback for clicking it. Also, if he did go for a Scald in the Sun, that wouldn't be doing much damage. So Weavile does come in for free, almost. And here I'm paranoid that he's just going to go hard into Torkoal, but the logical thing is that he would get the Wish Up. So I don't go for the Fake Out. Instead, I go for the Knockoff, and that proves to be killer, because he is going to hang on, and he doesn't quite die from the poison damage. So had I gone for the Fake Out, a Knockoff would have killed from that range, and I would have forced him to either... 1, drop to the Weavile, or 2, switch into Torkoal, take a bunch of extra damage from the Knockoff, and well, we're about to find out how much Knockoff does, as I don't really remember off the top of my head, but if it could possibly be a 2-hit KO, then things could have changed a bit. Obviously, I still would have lost the game, but, you know, I could have lowered diff at the very least, so that Knockoff... Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to take 2. So maybe he would have sacked Victory Bell or Jirachi, neither of which have even hit the field at this point, so there's no telling what else he might have up his sleeve. I'm just gotta go for another Knockoff here, as switching is kind of dumb since everything dies to a Lava Plume. And I just gotta try to get as much damage as I can before dying, so maybe I can try to lower differential a bit, since 5-0 is pretty ugly. Especially since when I was so close to killing the Vaporeon, Comfey was Toxic, and it was just really sloppy. So here I go into Steelix because I thought I was faster for some reason, and then I remembered that, you know, I'm min speed. I'm just kind of stupid. I think I just read the numbers wrong, but it doesn't really matter. It was just gonna die anyway, so yeah, it really doesn't matter. And lastly, Whimsicott comes in. Shadow Ball is gonna be doing anything. This was a very sloppy game on my end. I mean, there's nothing I can do. I got out prepped, I got outplayed. Well played there to Rio. Again, if I'm even pronouncing that right. Nothing I can do about that. I wish I had gone hard Whimsicott turn 1 instead of sacking Mew, because there's no telling what would have happened at that point if I had preserved Mew and I had gone into Whimsicott instead, since, you know, Whimsicott didn't really do anything for me in the rest of the game. It just kind of slowed me down, because I was forced to lock myself into a move, and he would be able to play around that super easily. I didn't put myself in those situations a lot, as I mostly just clicked U-turn, but had I done that, locking myself into something, then, you know, Jirachi comes in for free. If I lock myself into Shadow Ball, then, like, Vaporeon comes in for free. It just would have been really ugly if I had to lock myself into anything, so Whimsicott was kind of harmed me more than it hurt me, so if I had just gone into that turn 1 and just gone for the Moonblast, there's no telling what would have happened, because I don't think he would have expected Scarf Whimsicott. yeah, I think he would have like expected me to have just gone into that because, you know, I resist one stab and I'm immune to the other. So nothing you can do. Unfortunately, we do drop 2, 3, and 3. Good game to Rio. I mean, he just outplayed me. There's nothing I can do about that. I guess I should also give a quick thanks to, I believe it was Austin who joined my team for this week, and Joe for recording my game. You guys are cool. So I guess that's it. Kind of a disappointing performance on my end, but I mean, that was just my own carelessness, so I only have myself to blame. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week for IBL Week 7 versus Josh.